Stocky, it was a shocking result for Bristol City last night, 6-0 against Cardiff. What went wrong?
Just about everything that could have gone wrong on the night went wrong from start to finish. It started fairly brightly. The shape looked good, the new lads were playing and they looked decent and everyone was full of optimism. And then the first goal goes in after 19 minutes and the wheels come off absolutely completely. From that moment onwards, there was only one team at the races and it wasn't Bristol City. Sloppy defending, you have to say. Individual mistakes, uncharacteristic, I know, but they happened throughout the game. But I think the biggest worrying point for everybody concerned is the lack of fight and bottle that the players seemed to show once they went behind.
You picked out one of the new signings, Jamal Campbell-Rice says your star man for the match, the best of the bad bunch really. But so it wasn't the two debuts that threw things out of kilter, do you think?
I think in hindsight we can all be wise and say, was it right to put two new guys in who have been there such a short time? But if the manager has the decisions to make, it's his job to do that. He stands or falls by it, and I don't think anyone would have argued too much about the lineup, before the start of a game. Although the likes of Ivan Spell might feel a little hard done by that they weren't in the side after playing so well recently.
And the fans made their opinion known by throwing their free programmes on the pitch, I gather.
Well, fans pay the money and are entitled to have their say. And managers and players will take the plaudits when things go well and they're winning promotion and everything's rosy. And by the same token, you have to take the brickbats when things are going wrong. That's just the nature of the game. It's just the nature of business, not just football. And you have to be strong and take it on the chin sometimes.
And what does this mean for the manager? I mean, obviously there's going to be no knee-jerk reactions or anything like that, but it's just added pressure, I guess. Yeah,
there'll be pressure on Gary Johnson, of course there will be after a result like that, and I can tell you no one will be hurting more than he will be after what happened last night. He's the right man for the job before the game last night. In my opinion, for what it's worth, he's still the right man for the job this morning. Steve Lansdowne is a chairman with the courage of his own convictions. He won't be making knee-jerk reactions. He'll assess the situation. He'd have already had a word with Gary about what needs to be done now going forward. And they're just not in the business of panicking and making wrong decisions. This is a very shrewd guy. Got a strong manager there who can take the criticism and they'll come through.
And they've got a nice easy match against Middlesbrough coming up.
Yes, it's good. Just what you need, isn't it? Their trip to Teesside after that. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens now in the next few games. I mean, management is all about getting the tactics right and motivating players, and I think a lot of people will be looking closely to see what response they get from the team on Saturday, and what happens in the games immediately after that, and it's 3-4 weeks. Is this symptomatic of some deep-seated malaise, or something that's going to be a problem, or is it just a bad night at the office and you've got to basically put it down as that and move on and get on with it?
We have seen some big scores this season across the various divisions, but they do seem to just be freak results really, rather than any sort of consistent trend.
I think there are some very good sides in the Championship who, if the opposition aren't at the races, they can punish you. Cardiff are one of those sides. West Brom are another. Forest with their attacking flair are another one. Newcastle have been doing it. Sheffield United. Basically, the clubs, people have to understand, City are where they are. They're not in a position where they can go out and get the 10, 12 grand a week players that the likes of Cardiff have invested in, and Newcastle. Sheffield United, they can pick these players that they can afford. City aren't there yet. They're punching above their weight as a mid-table team in this league. And whether people like that or not, they have to realise that is the fact of life for Bristol City at the moment. Now, you build steadily, you build on solid foundations, and like Hull and Burnley before them, you do eventually, if you get it right, have a chance to get to the holy grail of the Premier League. But people need to be patient. It will take time.
You hung around at Ashton Gate last night. You were talking to the players. What was their reaction?
Well, I think embarrassment, first and foremost. No one wants to be on end of a 6-0 defeat. Whatever level you play at. Happened to me once or twice as a semi-pro in the younger days, and you don't really know where to put your face afterwards. And they'll be hurting. They've lost their day off today. They've had to come in and train. And basically, you need another game as quickly as possible to get it out of your system. And they'll all be looking forward to Saturday. And, maybe playing away from home there'll be a little less pressure. It might be easier than playing in front of your own supporters after a result like that. But they need a response and they need it quickly.
Was there any positives from the match in terms of what you saw from the two debutants?
Adjumang was involved in some good attacks early on. Looked quite useful with his back to goal. Set a couple of chances up for his teammates. Campbell Rice, I thought, was a threat. Very quick, good off both feet. The one encouraging spot of an otherwise grim evening.
Any fans calling for Basso to be brought back?
I don't think so. Dean Gherkin's obviously having a bit of a difficult time at the minute, but you can't just single individuals out. It's defensively, as a team, they're not quite doing their job at the moment. But there's no way on earth Adriano Basso will be getting back into the side any time soon, I can tell you that. So. But we do have experience back up in Stephen Collis now. He was on the bench last night. So.
Great. Well, we look forward to seeing what happens at Middlesbrough.
Yes, let's all keep our fingers crossed and hope we get a response and we can all come back with some smiles on our faces on Saturday evening.
Great. Thanks very much, Andy.